Hey guys, I want to take a second and thank Comfort Pro. Since 2001, Comfort Pro has been helping customers stay comfortable where they live, work, and play. They have 24/7 emergency service and a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. If you need help with your heating and air conditioning or indoor air quality, call Comfort Pro at 484-917-1803. Mention the show and receive a free humidifier with the installation of a complete system. What kind of coffee? I've got this one called Get Shit Done. You know, they're going to be like, what the hell's that? And they're going to want to try it. And it also is going to be something that sticks in their mind.
From real estate
Affects the market as a whole, which then sometimes will affect the tenure.
Right. It'll come in.
to real life.
We all learn in different ways. If you think about it, Wayne Dyer might not attract everybody.
And everything in between.
Mission was really to help people just to reach their full potential.
The Brad Weisman Show. And now, your host, Brad Weisman.
All right. Yes, this is going to be a cool show. Do you drink coffee?
I do. In
You
the
do?
morning. Yes.
Every morning? Mm-hmm. 1 cup or 2, or do you drink all day?
All of it.
Oh.
It helps me kickstart my brain and my vowels. If you know what I mean.
He did not say vowels. He said bowels. Just so you know.
yeah.
Right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Just making sure. Because people be like, it starts as vowels? How does that work? So, no, we have a really good guest today, Hugo. His name is Frank Sell. You're going to be excited to meet him. He's got this brand of coffee called Get Shit Done that is really, really cool. And his whole story of how he got to where he is right now, making coffee or producing this coffee for, you can get it in the beans, you can get it in the Keurig cup type thing. They also have this cold brew. We actually have it right here in front of us. But we're gonna meet him right now. His name is Frank Sell, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about how he got started in this coffee business. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, Brad. It's a blessing to be here.
Well, we're blessed to have you, actually. Yeah, we've been reading about you for quite some time. I know we tried a couple times, I think, before. Our schedules didn't meet up. But you've been kind of doing the podcast tour. I've seen that, too, which is good. And no, I ordered your coffee as soon as we knew you were coming on the show. I thought, I always like to buy the product and check it out. Mm-hmm. And I have to tell you, it's a really good cup of coffee. It's really good, and I'm not a big cold brew guy, but my wife tried it, and my daughter, they put it on some ice, and they loved it. So you're starting off good with a good product. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just know talented people. I don't have any hand in that, but I know I have talented friends.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But it wasn't always coffee. And this is the part that I thought was kind of interesting. When I looked on your website and I see that the different steps that you took, the path is not the normal path to get to being an entrepreneur and making coffee or having a brand this way. You don't make the actual beans and stuff, but the actual branding that you have and Get Shit Done, man. You can't, that's a great name, great brand. But let's go backwards a little bit and talk about, you don't come from that type of upbringing. Your dad was a truck mechanic and you decided you were going to do welding. So give me a little bit of the beginnings of your career, your life.
Yeah, I mean, so like most of us that grew up back in the 1900s, our parents told us to get an education or pick a trade because growing up, back then our mindset was you get a job and you stick with it for 30, 40 years and get a pension, retire. So, by all standards, I was doing what I was raised to do. I knew a higher education, college was not a good investment for me. I hated sitting in school as it was because, I already knew everything. I was as smart as I needed to be. So
did you have a beard then in 4th grade or 5th grade, or was the beard later?
Well, it was in deployment. It was still, no, I didn't have a beard. I was a baby face until I started growing a beard.
Yeah, no, that's funny. So go ahead. So so you're in high, so you decide you're not going to go to college or whatever. So what happened then?
Yeah, so I looked at, the school counselor. We looked at different ideas, and welding seemed like a good idea for me because you could always make decent money. If you're good, you could always find a job. So I did that, and I became a welder, manufacturing welder. And the last job that I had, I started Valentine's Day, 1994, employee 5331. I haven't had that job for over 20 years, but I remember that because I felt like a number. And I also remember I started when I was 18 years old. And what was important about that is this company at the time had a 30-year retirement program. So I was going to retire at 48 with a full pension, insurance benefits. My early 20s, I had 4 weeks paid vacation. I was living the dream.
Yeah.
Doing what I was told that I was the target, the goal. But I realized shortly after that the dream that I was sold was built on sand, the foundation. And what I mean is that the company got sold. And when a lot of times companies get sold, they want to change benefit packages to show increased profit or just move the peanut shell game, move stuff around to make it look good. So that meant that they changed retirement to where you had to work until you're 55 no matter what. That would have been 37 years that I would have to be a welder. And it's like, there's no healthy retired welders. They don't have the lifestyle that I want. And so at the end of the day, it's like, I have a decision to make. I either have to be willing to accept what they're going to give me or take sovereignty, take ownership of my future. And so I knew some guys that fixed hail damage on cars. We live here in central Kansas. And it's kind of Tornado Alley. It storms every year. And so I knew these guys that fix hail damage. I knew they made multiple six figures a year. And my simple thought process was just that, well, they're just working with their hands and it's just metal. My hands are pretty smart. So I asked my buddy he asked me about training before I asked him. He asked me a few times to train to become a paintless dent repair is what they call a technician. Yeah. But it just never worked out because I was living the dream, right? I was in my early 20s, making good money, had the benefits. I didn't want to mess that up. I said, nah, not right now. And so after the company got sold, they changed the benefits and, I kind of made that decision. I want to do something different. They weren't willing to train because they had trained a couple guys that hadn't worked out. But the guy told me, he said, well, there's this videotape. You can find it here. I can't remember if he gave me a phone number or website. It's that long ago. And I called the place. I bought $100 VHS tape.
Oh my gosh.
And some used tools to learn this trade. Oh my God. I would take time 2 or 3 nights a week after work. And it was really funny because I didn't have a setup at home. I would watch the video at home. And then I would go in town to my dad's truck repair shop and work on a scrap hood or something. And I did this for months and months. And there was a voluntary layoff coming up. And I had reached out to this guy and said, hey, there's a layoff coming up. I can come assist you and do the what's called the R&I process, which is remove and install all the parts to give them access to fix the hail damage. So that's kind of like the journeyman phase to get into the industry. And he said, yeah, that'd be great. There's a big storm in Dallas in 2003. My first child was on the way in 2003. And so I volunteered for layoff, drive to Dallas. I get to Dallas and old boy's like, well, sorry, but so-and-so's brother took the spot. I can't really do much. So that was kind of the first lesson in business also is, not taking things personal, but taking it professional. And then I didn't understand this was part of the sales process, but I gave him the old, okay, well, who do you know? So leveraging your network to find, the next sale. So he referred me to a guy that he knew that I could go help them with the process of taking the cars apart. And during that, build a relationship with him. And, I'm in my late 20s. And I'm excited. Hey, man, I bought this videotape. I've been training myself. I've been learning. If you're okay, I'll fix some dents, small stuff just for practice and to help you out. So I started doing that. And he looked at me and he's like, dude, why aren't you doing this full time? Oh, wow. And I said, well, because my buddy told me I couldn't be any good because nobody trained me. He's like, well, you're doing work that I was doing when I started. Wow. He's like, you need to be doing this. So I called my friend and I said, hey, so-and-so, your buddy, he said that, I'm pretty good. I can do this, as a career. And I would like to come help you guys because you're my friend. And he just laughed at me. He said, well, it'd be too much like training you. Oh. And so the next week I loaded my shit, drove home and started my business.
Good for you.
Like on the coffee, like the coffee can says, I beat the damn street so hard, I swear I get a bill for the potholes.
That's great. No, you know what's funny about that as I'm listening to your story, you didn't go to college, but as far as I'm concerned, from the welder to that, where that story ended there, that's a college education.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You learn so much in that period of time because of getting turned down, failure, getting, different things like just the VHS tape and looking at that. You figured things out on your own, which is pretty amazing. Are your kitchen and bathroom remodels a little overdue? Well, now's your chance to call First Response Contracting. John Sellers will take care of you. 484-256-7136. They do residential and commercial, and they're licensed and insured. Give them a call at 484-256-7136.
Yeah, I think people have a way of simplicating things. That's a combination of making simple things complicated.
Yeah.
Because I really think it's their ego trying to protect themselves from looking silly or stupid.
Yeah.
But I was just blessed with a level of ignorance. I didn't really care. I'm Frank Sell. I get that from my dad. So my dad's been self-employed since 1977, single man truck shop, working on big trucks, semis. So I had that example, just the perseverance and resiliency that it takes, to take action and do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you go from that, and then you got out of the Allied. It was called Allied Dent Removal, I think, is what you had called it, or something like that. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, and that's still my main income source.
So you still do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is what's interesting. When I'm reading your website and all this stuff, I'm thinking that those things are done, and you're not doing that anymore. No, you're still doing that. Yeah,
it's a very lucrative business. You're working with insurance.
Well, aren't you guys? Is it dents like when you have a hailstorm? Those kind of dents on a car?
Uh-huh.
And you guys get a lot of hail.
Yeah.
So that's a very lucrative business out there.
Yeah, it just hailed a week or so ago, late season storm.
We get it like once every so often, and it's like this little stuff, It's that's fun. Yeah, because you guys get a lot of it because when there's tornadoes, there's hail always, almost always.
The majority.
Yeah.
So we just have a storm that'll put me into next year with repairs.
Oh my gosh,
and stuff.
That's incredible.
It's hard to walk away from. I have to sell a lot of coffee to
do that.
Recover. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I love it. Well, maybe you'll get to that point. Who knows? Maybe we'll replace the dents with coffee. How's that? You'll get that way. So then
I'd like to, but I just don't know that I could, because I've worked with the people that I work with for 20 years.
Yeah.
I do a lot of subcontract stuff. So it'd be hard to walk away.
That's awesome, man. It's really cool. So then then there's another thing. Then you started another company called Baby Beard Club, or it's this beard oil.
Yeah. So
Is that still going?
No, it's what they call parked. The website is still there. I parked it because the shiny object syndrome. When when I found my pony, my racehorse, I jumped on it.
Yeah,
and that's what the coffee brand is. So the Beard Club that came from, I started Home of the Hustle Facebook page, kind of just like what we're doing here. I didn't know what I didn't know. I had been self-employed, but I didn't have enough cash flow, positive cash flow. I didn't have dividends. I didn't have recurring revenue coming in. So at the end of the day, I knew that as I matured, that I needed something to make money while I sleep. I could do real estate. I could do all kinds of different things. But for the speed and the height of the ceiling for growth, I thought, man, doing a brand or doing something online is really the way to go. So I started the Facebook page, Home of the Hustle, where Facebook Live was really popular at the time. So Facebook would really push live videos in the algorithm. And I started Home of the Hustle on Facebook, where I would interview people that do marketing and branding or websites, e-commerce. So basically the questions that I had on how to grow an online brand and business, I would find somebody that knew them, interview them, and build up my network. And then also build up some influence or an audience that kind of looked to me for answers or ideas and so on. Never really had a way to monetize it.
Right.
Until one time we made some homemade beard oil. And the first night that I used it, I slept really good.
Oh, wow.
So I asked what happened? Why did that happen? And I have a habit of, when I get an idea, I'll go to GoDaddy and look for a domain around the name. So I already owned babybeardclub.com. And in the marketing aspect, you can have one bottle of product and 10 different ways to market it.
Right.
And what I noticed at the time is all about fake machismo, manhood BS. You know, I got skinny pants and a flannel shirt. I'm a man, hear me roar kind of stuff. I was like, that's about as phony as it gets. You know, whiskey barrel makes you manly, or tobacco, the aromas.
Yeah.
And so what I realized is when I slept really good and I asked what happened, that if it's a natural beard oil, it uses essential oils to create the aroma, but nobody is leveraging the therapeutic effect of essential oils. So all of the beard oil was marketed and formulated around its therapeutic effect, and had a nighttime beard oil. I'd have guys message me that when they hold their infant next to their beard, they would calm down.
Out of here. So inside the oil was was essential oils, which basically was there was stuff in there that was a calming agent that worked through aroma.
Yeah,
it's like aromatherapy.
Your beard is like a facial diffuser.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And so I had a daytime one that was called Get Shit Done. It has
I saw that.
And different things to help wake you up and help you focus. So that's where the Get Shit Done part of the coffee comes from, is just that branding. So what I realized through the beard oil is, we talked about the recurring revenues, the monthly recurring revenues and so on, is that guys really only order beard oil 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. So
it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
And the audience, it was just really tough. It's a really, really tough market. I know coffee's a tough market too. But it also allowed me to reach men with my message. I'd started a page and website called Armored Up Man. And really it was my journey to manhood, when I met Christ. And what I really understood, what a real man is, he's patient, he's kind, but he's also a tough mother,
Yep, absolutely. That's really cool. That is so interesting. The whole thing with the oils and how this whole thing is like kind of circling in here. You know what, when you said about the coffee thing, what I found, and I don't know if this is happening and I'm just seeing it happen or what, but I'm kind of sick of like the normal coffee, everyday coffee. And to me, this is like a boutique coffee, if you want to call it that. Okay. I'm going to call it a boutique coffee. And the reason being is because it almost gets kind of fun. Like, how craft beer started, how it became like kind of fun to try a different beer. That's the way I'm kind of getting with the vibe of this coffee thing. Is that, if somebody comes over to my house and they want a cup, or my parents come over, whatever, you can say, I got what kind of coffee? I've got this one called Get Shit Done. They're going to be like, what the hell's that? And they're going to want to try it. And it also is going to be something that sticks in their mind, and it actually tastes good. That was the one thing I was waiting when I tried the first cup of coffee in the morning. And I drink a cup every morning. I make my wife's coffee every morning too. And I'm smelling this. I'm like, smells good. Then I drank it. I'm like, tastes good. So it's really cool that you have a product that is actually a good product. It's not like it's just the brand. It's the brand and the product that's very good.
Well, and that's kind of where it all started. Me personally, I wouldn't sell something that I don't drink or wouldn't use myself, or I personally know that it's a world-class product. And like I said earlier, that comes from just showing up. As I say, show up, find friends, want to do cool shit, and get shit done. So I was at a networking deal that happens every Wednesday across the country called Million Cups. And I met some guys that in Wichita, Kansas, they had started a co-packing company where they contract the canned coffee. So they had their own in-house brand, but then they also can for other like name brands that you would know. I know, but I can't say.
No, that's okay.
So we just become buddies. It was finding the cool friends part. Yeah. We met at this networking deal, and I was buying coffee beans from them for my personal use. They were buying Get Shit Done beard oil for themselves. And so one day I had a bag of their coffee beans laying on my desk, and I had just ordered some stickers that we give away with the beard oil orders. Wow. That say Get Shit Done. And I had a bag of their coffee. So if you're listening on the podcast, on the YouTube or the video, you can see this. I put a Get Shit Done sticker, and it didn't say coffee. It said Baby Beard Club on it. And I put that on a bag of coffee, posted it on Facebook. And because I had this Home of the Hustle audience, everybody was like, dude, are you selling Get Shit Done coffee? How do I buy it?
Yeah, it makes sense. The name is aggressive. Coffee is typically aggressive.
Yeah,
kind of, and we all drink it. I mean, we really do.
Yeah, so I instantly saw the connection between the hustle and the coffee. And I had like 5 bags laying there. I put stickers on them and sold them to my friends. I called the guys in Wichita and said, "Can I private label your beans?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, that's what we do." So I bought a grinder and I started selling whole beans and grinds out of home.
Oh my gosh.
I asked them, "So how do we make a canned coffee?" Because that's their main business. So they gave me the kind of different options of how to get started with that. And September of 2020, we had our first pallet, which is about 3,000 cans of the coffee produced, and sold it all in 5 weeks with no ads. Just because I've been hyping it up, through social media that we're doing this, and people were getting behind our story that, holy shit, he's doing this. How do you do that? So it's just, you just find a way.
Yeah, it's great. It really is good. I like it, and I like there's a lot. There's a lot of tag stuff in here. I like. It's also very patriotic. You have make America grind again. You'll probably catch shit for that.
A little bit,
because that's another MAGA. Nobody wants to hear any other MAGAs, of course. Yeah. But I'm fine with it. Make America grind again. And then the other thing here, it says. I love this here. It says, your company continues to grow, promoting a message of perseverance, courage, and self-improvement. It's dedicated to supporting dreamers, doers, hustlers everywhere, advocating for a mindset of facing fears and relentlessly pursuing one's goals. So there's like a whole attitude behind it, or a whole positive message behind the brand.
Yeah, and it's like we discussed. I'm Frank Sell. I'm not selling coffee. I'm selling my story of doing it scared, and basically I'm selling permission and inspiration to get shit done and make America grind again. Back in the day when we were too damn busy. We were working hard. We were minding our own business. Didn't have all this riffraff going on today.
Yeah.
Because people were more focused on themselves and more focused on like a dream or a goal or their own family.
So true.
So I'm not selling coffee. Coffee is the commodity. Yeah. I'm selling that story that I bought a $100 videotape. And so I've had people reach out to me that they have started their own brands. They have moved across the country to pursue, their potential, pursue some idea. And they send me messages all the time like, "Man, thank you. I appreciate you," because every little step of the way, we were talking, about how do we even do this? So part of it was, like, it's kind of biblical, building your house before you need it, really, before you start a family. And so I've been building this network of people that are really talented and know what they're doing, that just make me look like I'm really smart. So I can lean on them. It's like on your desk, you have the box of the K-Cups, and I can show you right here. I simply bought a gift box.
Yep.
Took a label off of one of the bags of coffee, drew some dimensions, put what I wanted to say on there, and then sent that to my VA in the Philippines, and she kind of designed it all up. And then next thing you know, we have, a K-Cup brand, and wrapped into all of it is messaging. It's like, that's called the extra mile espresso.
Yeah.
And you can see on the label, it says the only problem with the extra mile is thinking that it's extra. And so my beliefs and my purpose are integrated into the products, because I think the extra mile is just a marketing ploy. Me personally, I'm going to give you my best. I'm going to give you my all. There's no miles left when I'm done.
Yeah.
With my hair repair business, or, with a personal relationship, whatever it is, why would I hold back just so I could sell you a little bit extra and make you feel good?
That's awesome, man. I love the whole thing. I really do. And the other thing was the mission for the company is to reignite America's passion for hard work and perseverance through our story of entrepreneurship. We aim to show the resilience and hardworking grind. I love the grind part put in there. Grind of American culture is making a comeback. Show up, build a community, and get shit done.
Absolutely.
It's just cool, man. I think the coffee is the vessel to get in the door to talk about what people can do if they put their mind to it.
Oh, 100% it is. And I don't even realize that I'm doing it as I'm doing it. But I said, I do have people, they reach out, they really connect and resonate with how I tell the story. And I don't think anything about it or think much about it. I just kind of think and try to find the simplest way to get something done, or, because Dad always said, work smarter, work harder. And he also said, you don't make money when you sell something, you make money when you buy it.
Exactly right. That's the same for real estate too. They always tell you, you don't make money in real estate when you sell the house, you make it when you buy it. That's so true. Yep. So true. Your dad's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's a handful. He's super smart. And he don't put up with no BS. It's funny.
So what do you say to anybody out there who has an idea, an entrepreneur or somebody that's not even an entrepreneur yet or whatever? They have an idea and they're just not sure how to go about it, or they're scared or whatever, or what kind of advice would you give?
What I've kind of noticed, and especially like with this coffee, is most people, like, their egos want to complicate it and want. They think that they have to have a business plan. They have to have everything figured out, have all this stuff, lined up before you even start. And really what I've found, just like my hail repair business, the hail damage, you make a decision and then you make the decision right. So whether it was a good decision or bad decision, whatever it is, you followed up with enough effort that it's the right decision at the end of the day, because you worked your ass off to make sure of that. So the other thing is that the only validation that you really need is somebody willing to hand you money for your product or idea and build from there.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Hugo, do you have any questions for him?
Oh, inspiring. No, that's a cool story.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. Very good. You have a great story to tell. So how do we get your, we're going to wrap it up here, but we want to tell people, how do we get the coffee? How do we find your story online?
Yeah, so the best way is going to be our website has our story and it has our social links on there. And then I kind of made a little 5-step process, a download that's free. You guys can have that, just a process that helped me after reflection and 23 years in business, understand what I did to get where I'm at. So there's a little playbook that they can download. There's also a discount on the coffee, but it's homeofthehustle.com/playbook.
Awesome. That's great. We'll have to make sure we get that out there. I appreciate your time, Frank. It was a great conversation, very encouraging. I love the coffee. We will be buying more of it, and we'll be spreading it out. I'm probably going to keep this here on my desk for quite some time and talk about it, help you out and get some more coffee sales. How's that?
That sounds awesome. I love it.
Awesome, man. All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Frank Sell, Home of the Hustle. This is Get Shit Done coffee right here. Hugo, you got to get some of this coffee. You're going to love it. Right. It's really good stuff. But yeah, so check it out. Get Shit Done coffee. You can find it online, purchase it, and then also read the stories. Read everything that you see on the website. There's just so much great content. You're going to love it. But that's about it. We'll see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us. Hey guys, if you're looking to buy or sell a house in Berks County or beyond, let me know. This is Brad Weisman from The Brad Weisman Show. You probably know I'm also a realtor, but I wanted to remind you, if you have any questions or you need anything, please give me a call, 484-256-5836. Thanks.